Hey, let's talk about some of the navigation things in social business networking. You always got a name card. That's my name card. I'm a frequent networker, so I actually have my own card I always carry. And the question comes up, where do you put your name card? Right? Some tips. You'll discover as you're going to a lot of networking events, there's a trendy thing. When you go to these things, they give you your card on a lanyard, and you end up wearing your name tag down here. And the problem is, in order for someone to see what your name is, they have to stare real close to your genitalia, which is not where you want to start the relationship, okay? So other folks will pin their card right here, which takes you right into the cleavage zone, doesn't it? I mean, seriously, where you want to have your name tag is where someone can look at it to get your name real quick. I can't remember your name. What's your name? They can look at it real quick without breaking the eye gaze. You wear it high up in here. Now, you can wear it here on the right or here on the left. And if you talk to professional salespeople, people who've been around, they all have opinions on whether it's a left side or the right side. I'll tell you, you wear it on the right side because when you're shaking hands, that forms a line there. Other people will say, no, 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 you don't put it on the right side because when you're shaking hands, it covers it up. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Now, one of the things we have now with tremendous technology is you don't have to have the sticky things or the pin things. You know, they got magnets now. Huh? Yeah? Doesn't have to mess with your fine wool. You would just put it on like this. And I'm damn glad to see you. All right. So that's the issue of name tag. So if your name tag is anywhere but up here around your collarbone, move it right now. If you want people just to pretend they remember your name, they never remember your name, give them a break. Let them just glance very quickly a short distance between your eye to the name tag. Hurrah. And my advice is get your own name tag holders because they're usually crap wherever you go. So let's talk about the social conversation. This is what Biff and Muffy learned at the golf club. This is what the rich kids know. This is what they're teaching at Andover and Yale and Choate and Mount Herman and all those fabulous schools where the moneyed people go. This is the conversation. You begin with a good evening. Good evening, I'm Joel Whalen, and you offer to shake hands. Tell me your name. If they're so cretinous that they don't know how to respond with their own name, you have to cue them. Tell me your name, and then you repeat the name 3 times. One of the tricks of remembering someone's name is to say it as frequently as you can after you first meet the person. You repeat the name 3 times. And then anytime the other person says something, even if it's just their name, you give a positive reaction. You happy, wonderful, how nice, good to meet you. You give them a positive vibe. You give them a jot of love right back. No matter what they say, you respond. Yeah. Then ask a question. Listen to the answer. Positive response, no matter what they say. Give a positive answer. The likelihood that they're going to say something just absolutely terrible in a social networking is almost like nothing. You don't really have to prepare yourself for bad. So Joel Whalen, DePaul University, how are you? How nice to meet you. So how was your day? Oh, I had to kill my hamster today. He was very ill. Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. They're not going to give you the downer news. It's always something quite wonderful. And if you notice, the keys here are reactions, listen, ask questions. That's what Biff and Muffy do. That's the way the world works. This is how when you meet your boss's boss's boss and you conduct yourself this way, you will seem familiar. They will like you because of perceived similarity. They will believe that you're in the same social class that they are. It's the way the world works. So, let's get a little bit of a demonstration up here, please. Look for some likely folks here, by golly. I'm trying to read your name tag. It's Neil. Neil, come out. Give Neil some applause. Neil's going to help us out here tonight. Come on up here, Neil. What a fine young man. What character. By golly. So nice. Come on. You'll stand right here, if you will, my friend. Looking good, kid. Really good. Now, Neil and I are going to show you guys some of the ways you behave, some of the ways to move when you're meeting people at a cocktail party, business, social networking. Now, one of the first things that you're going to want to do is you want to square your shoulders to the person that you're speaking with. It commands total attention. So, for example, you pretend that there's a line running across Neil's shoulders and a line running across my shoulders, and those lines are parallel. So it's a trick we learned from the Disney Corporation, where they teach their executives how to meet people, particularly in the theme parks, is you show that you're paying total attention to the person by squaring your shoulders. Very good. And that communicates I'm really listening to you. If I'm kind of talking to Neil like this, keep your shoulders squared to mine. If I'm kind of talking, it's kind of like I'm kind of, how are you? Nice to see you. It's kind of like I'm giving him half attention. It's kind of rude, right? Now, that may seem simple to you. Let me stand more like center stage right here. Would you stand right there? Good man. Thank you. That might seem like real simple and real obvious to you, right? But here's the weird thing. You'll discover that people have energy that they put out. It's almost like out of the chakras, you'll feel the energy coming off of people, particularly more powerful people. If you talk to me, just because I'm older and more senior and have higher social status, you might feel this wave of energy. And so what you do is you'll want to turn away. It's like this chakra energy comes out and you can ricochet it off. You bank the shot, you deflect the energy. Swear to toast, you'll find yourself having to bring your shoulder like that. And it's not just powerful old guys, it's attractive people. When someone's really got it, if you know what I mean, you're going, hammer, 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 hammer. You feel this sexual energy coming off, and you just, and trust me, Neil's got it. When you meet this guy, he's got animal all over him. All righty. Yeah. Now, what we're going to be doing while we're talking, particularly in the beginning when it's kind of weird and we don't know each other, to show that we're comfortable and competent, we like the other person, we do Kennedy eyes. We do eye to mouth. We just sort of, and so we're squaring our shoulders and doing Kennedy eyes. And I swear to toast, it's going to transport you. It makes things so easy. By golly. Now, you do the handshake. You got to be able to do the standard American business handshake. It's indispensable. More senior business executives, guys like myself, like Professor Voss, bless his heart, so Zach Potzman here, our other professors in the program. What other professors do we have here? I have trouble seeing. Stu Voss? Are they upstairs? Did O'Brien bring the flask again? Yeah. That's why I love her so, by golly. We believe that the handshake tells you everything about someone. And if you begin with a really good handshake, it sets up the relationship. It sets up the mystic mojo that things are right. On the other hand, if you get a bad handshake, it's like, all right? Now, the mistake most rookies make when they're doing the handshake is they try to do it too fast, and they try to do it all in one step. So they'll go in, the handshake like this, they'll go, hi, how are you? And it's just wrong, okay? It's just not, because in truth, the handshake is 3 steps. The first step is you match the web. Second one is you grip slowly, and then you show feeling and character. You project a little feeling and character during the handshake, okay? So we're going to go in, Neil and I, we match the web, then we grip, and then we shake hands. Lovely. And we try to relax the arm. Now, one of the things that happens, particularly with young men, is you guys work out a lot. And you're very powerful. You got twin guns coming out of the thing, you know. And so you'll come in with a handshake like this, hi, how are you? And it's like, bam, crush. And it's like a bar of iron running here. And then they try to dominate by turning the hand over. Yeah. Give it a rest, spark plug. I know you're the king of the gym. Just match the web, grip, and just show, nice to see you. And feel it, just project, and you will do great, okay? And this has nothing to do with handshakes, but it's just a thing I noticed about young men. Anytime you touch them on the thing, they pop the deltoid for you. You know what I mean? You go, bam, you know. You give them you touch them on the shoulder, you go, bam, you know. It's like, yeah, I know, abs of iron, I get it, solid, you know. All righty. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give you guys a chance to practice shaking hands with each other. Neil's going to go down that aisle and practice with some folks. I'm going to go down that aisle. And I want you to turn to the person sitting next to you and practice shaking hands. Do that right now. Neil, if you go down that aisle right there. May I shake hands with you? See, that's a good one. Nicely done. And you give a good vibe, too, as you're doing it.
Thank you.
Good man. May I shake hands with you? Okay, now see what's happening? Here's your web. You match the web there, like that. See, that's really good. Now give me a little vibe as you're doing it. There you go. And a little firmer. You want to squeeze a little. You work out, don't you? Good, so put a little more squeeze into it. A little stronger. So squeeze with your fingers. That's it right there. That shows strength and character, okay? Why don't you give it a go? Okay, good. Now what you're doing, you tend to arch your hand. Just let it kind of relax. See your arch. You let it relax into it and wrap like that. Yeah, you have to touch a lot of disgusting palm, but that's the way it's done.
Hand sanitizer.
See, that's how you do it right there. Well done. How you doing? We've done this before, haven't we? Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. May I?
Hi.
Thank you so much. Well done. Nicely done. Nicely. You guys are getting good at this stuff. Just real quick here. It's going really well. How are you? A little squeeze harder. More strength. There you go. Show your power. All right. Perfect. All righty. Very nicely done. Nicely done, pal. Professor Voss, always a go. All right. Come on back up here. Where's Kent? Where's my brother? So what you might find commonly, particularly young women tend to make an arch of their hand. It's like they don't want to touch the palm. Mash that palm together. Just press that palm. All righty. Now, it says here, if you fail to dock, retry again. You recall that, particularly the old senior guys, if we don't get a good handshake, it's like, you have to recognize it. You're not going to get a good grip every time. Sometimes things, when you don't get a good one, you've got to let the other person know that, I know we just messed up here. This is not good. You don't try to fake it like, this is pretty cool. Let them know that you made a mistake, right? So if we get in, we got a bad handshake here, you go, whoa, I miss you. Let me try that again. There you go. All right. So you'll let them know that you know, then you go in and you give them that last feeling. Hugely important. All righty. Now, was it Morgan that we're working with? Yeah. Morgan? Come on up here. Morgan's going to give us a little bit of hand. Give Morgan some applause, if you will. Yay, Morgan! Woo! Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for coming, by golly. Would you stand right here? I just realized the young men are wondering why I didn't get you up here sooner. Sorry, guys. All right. Now, let's talk about how you carry on a conversation when you're talking to somebody else and the other person is talking. So would you guys come a little closer and pretend like you're talking with each other? You know, if you notice, there's a bit of a height difference, right? And you'll discover through your careers that you'll be talking to people that are more diminutive than you are, you know. So this is okay, but if you notice the angle that Morgan's head has to be to talk to Neil, it's just really a little uncomfortable. And plus, unless Neil, and he has, but if sometimes you forget your nasal grooming and you have shrubbery coming out of each nostril, it becomes, I know, and yet you have to stare at it, right? So one of the things that the taller person may want to do is just step back just a little bit to cut down on the angle. Just step back just a little, give it a little space so it kind of eases the angle and cuts down on the nostril. Yeah, good. Okay. What did we learn tonight? Nostril hair. Okay. So let's talk about how you would join a conversation. You recall earlier that it's open, you can talk to anybody you want to, it's very free and easy. How do you join a conversation, right? Well, the first thing, if I want to join a conversation with Morgan and Neil, I check out to see how intense the conversation is. I don't want to interrupt anything that's really going on, right? Do I decide, well, I'm going to join the conversation? Do I walk up to him like this? Hi, 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 hi. No. Here's how you do it. You approach a little bit more slowly. You walk up, so pretend you're talking to each other, if you will. Good, good, they're chatting, chatting, chatting. So I walk up, and as I approach the group, one of them, Morgan in this case, notices me. I go, hello, may I join you? Joel.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Morgan, lovely to be with you. Joel Whalen.
Hi, Neil.
Neil, so pleasant to meet you guys. And so now, lovely event. Is this your all's first time here? Now you're into the conversation. You approach, and one person will normally recognize you. If they don't, for some reason, typically folks will let you into the group. Lovely. Now, let's say we're hosting this event. Morgan and I work together. She's my vice president. I'm on her sales team. Neil's an important customer. Now, I want to get Morgan. The reason I'm approaching this thing is not because I want to talk to him. I want to ask Morgan if she will, in a moment, come and meet one of my customers. Okay? So as I approach this group, who do I speak to first? yes, I'm going to talk to Neil and get his permission to talk to Morgan because he's the important one and I don't want to offend him. I want to get his permission. So I approach like this. So pretend you're talking to each other, yada yada yada, and then I come up and I notice, and I go, hi, Joel Whalen. I'm going to speak to Morgan for a moment if I might. Lovely. When you have a chance, there's someone we'd like you to meet.
Okay.
Lovely. Thank you for coming. Hope you have a wonderful time tonight.
Nice to meet you.
All righty, and I'm gone. Beautiful. You get permission. Once it's granted, then you can talk to the other person and then thank them. Just that simple. Beautiful. So right now I'm going to ask Neil to return to his seat with big thanks, and Morgan, stay here. Give Neil some applause for getting up here. Well done, son. All right. Yay! God, I'd love to be tall. I swear to God. I'm 5'8" and working it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's say that in this case, Morgan and I are just sort of chatting, right? And when you do these things, when you know how to do the Kennedy eyes and you carry on the conversation and you're managing your attitude, doing all the stuff you're learning in effective communication, and you're with somebody else who doesn't know those things, they find you very pleasant to be with, they don't really want to talk to other people because they're kind of nervous and scared to know what you want. As a result, they lock onto you. They don't want to let you go. And you want to move on and meet other people, right? Because you're trying to meet as many people as possible and have useful, interesting conversations so you can reciprocate, right? So how do you break off the conversation, all right? So if you say to the person, well, it's been lovely speaking with you tonight. And,
it's been lovely speaking with you tonight.
Yes, and I hope that you find interesting people to speak with and yada. Morgan is not going to give me the okay goodbye. She's not going to pick up on those cues. She's going to be like a human barnacle, okay? So here's what you do to break off the conversation. You act, you do, while you're seeking permission for the thing you're about to do. You put into motion what you're asking to do. You don't do, well, it's been really nice being with you tonight, and I hope that you have a good time tonight and meet some other people. And it doesn't work like this. You do it while in motion. It's been wonderful being with you. I hope you have a wonderful time tonight, meeting, and you're gone. Yeah, beautiful young woman, that's going to happen to me, right? That's how you do it. You put it in motion at the same time that you're going. Yay! Well done. Just say thank you. And applause for Morgan. Well done. Thanks for doing that for me tonight. Yay! All right. This is just pure style and manners right here. You're going to go to these receptions, and there's hors d'oeuvres and cocktails, and there's a speaker. And the reason the speaker is talking, now you're standing around, they might have some high-top tables and maybe some small tables there, and you're talking to folks. And then there's a call to attention. And the speaker is going to address the group for a few minutes. Why? Because they paid for the cocktails and the hors d'oeuvres, because they want to talk about their new product, they want to talk about their company, and that's why you're there. When this happens, you shut up and you listen. It's not like you're going to a club and somebody's playing guitar and you don't want to listen, you just want to talk. It's not like that. They're not the guitar player. They're paying for it. You politely stop conversation and you listen. If you continue conversation with your friends while the speaker is speaking, the senior folks will look over at you and they're going to think you're drunk and don't know any better. You've just reduced your career advancement opportunities by a few notches. Always pay attention to the speaker. All right. Let's talk about juggling food and beverage here. Oh my gosh. Good stuff. So, there's usually little, food, little drinks, And what I recommend you do is you hold your beverage glass in your left hand. Why your left hand? Well, that leaves your right hand free to shake hands and to go into your pocket and get your business cards. You keep your business cards. Typically, you got a decent suit. There's a little pocket right here. It's called the theater ticket pocket. That's where you keep your business cards. Hooray. And by keeping your left hand free, your right hand is ready to shake hands and pass on business cards. Now, let's say that you're holding the beverage. Where do you hold the beverage? Well, some people hold it up here, and I swear that's just too precious. You don't want to hold it up here. Right? And other people, it's kind of like they're taking a drug test, they're holding it down here. No. just right in here, somewhere around your chest level is just fine. And be aware of the other person's height. Many times, particularly if you're drinking a bottle of beer, you'll end up holding the beer right in the person's face. So be aware of that relative height thing. Now, sometimes you have little things to eat. How lovely. You'll have your little Munchables here, your broccoli with dip and cheese that you didn't really want, and that really good hot dog thing with the bacon on it, right, that you're really looking forward to having. What you do is you take your drink and you stack it on the edge of your plate. You can still hold it in your left hand, leaving your right hand free. And this napkin is indispensable. You gotta have a napkin. What do you do with your napkin? You place it under your little finger right like that. And every single time you take a sip, every time you take a little bite, you take your napkin and you just touch your mouth with it. 2 reasons. Number 1, it's a social signal. It's just a manners thing. And upper class people notice that. And the other reason is more practical, because that broccoli thing with the cheese is now hanging from your mustache thing, and the one time you don't go to your mouth with it, it just dangles like a stalactite and tends to dominate the conversation. All right. So lovely. Now, let's talk about knowing how much to drink at one of these receptions. This is absolutely critical. Oh my goodness gracious. And I got to preface this by telling you that I love to drink. Probably to a level my doctor would say is not healthy. I just love to drink. I was on the drinking team at University of Florida. I led it 4 years, swear to toast. But yet, when I go to a networking event, I was at a conference last week, I'm going to a conference this week, I don't drink. I'll have club soda with a lime in it. I'll have a cola. Because when you are anxious and you're meeting people in a very active, loud, energetic business environment, and the anxiety grows, 1 drink has the effect on your brain of 3. You can get hammered in a hurry. And you know what happens? You do your first drink, and it's like you just done 3, bam, bam, bam. The first part of your brain that gets affected is the prefrontal cortex, and it gives you a little jot of dopamine, and you feel great, real confident, no pain, and then it lowers your inhibition. So now you've got energy, you feel great, you've got no judgment. Where's that boss of mine? Let me go talk to him. His wife's a hot little ember, let me go talk to her. You know? Wrong, okay? Resist the cues that you are at a cocktail party. You can always go drinking later on, fine. When you're at the business social networking, my advice is, 1, and nurse it. You know, maybe just have some sparkling water of some kind. Much better, particularly when it's important and you're junior and you're anxious. Now, we're lucky tonight because we have a world-class expert on professional consumption of alcohol, Professor Stu Voss, bless his heart. If you know his career, give Stu some appreciation. He is a wonderful man. Stu Voss knows more about the proper consumption of alcohol through his years selling for Jim Beam, great liquor manufacturing company. Today, he directs all Walgreens sales for Miller Coors. Stu, what advice can you offer us? Your perspective on alcohol at social events?
Sure, thank you, Joel. Yeah. So, anybody like NASCAR?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, like 1 person. Me too. How long is a NASCAR race? Long, long. So I had to take up a very important client to a NASCAR race, and it's an all-day drinking adventure. You start at about 3, the race is at about 5, ends at 8, and then you're back to the parking lot for some more alcoholic beverages. And I said to my vice president, what do? I can't be with this client and be drunk. And if we drink from 3 till 10, I will be very, very drunk. And they gave me great advice. They said, always have a drink in your hand, never be drunk.
There you go.
Always have a drink in your hand, never be drunk.
That's beautiful, Stu. A little applause for Stu. That's just gorgeous advice. Yeah. That's beautiful. And that's why every time you see Stu and me, we're going to have a drink in our hand, by golly.